Okay, Psalm 92. Good morning. I'm glad to be here again. So, Psalm 92, starting in verse 1, a psalm or song for the Sabbath day. It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High, to show forth thy loving kindness in the morning and thy faithfulness every night. Upon an instrument of 10 strings, and upon the psaltery, upon the harp, with the solemn sound. For thou, Lord, hast made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in the works of thy hand. O Lord, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man knoweth not, neither doeth a fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. But thou, Lord, art most high forevermore. For lo, thine enemies, O Lord, for lo, thy enemies shall perish, all the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shall be exalted like the horn of a unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. Mine eye shall also see my desire and my enemies, and my ears shall hear my desire of the wicked that rise up against thee. For the righteous shall flourish like a palm tree, he shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing, to show that the Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. Praise the Lord. Well, I'm actually like on a World Cup tour. I've done, let me see, yesterday was the 12th game. Between all the teams, we have done so far 19 games. I have one more game left, which is Tuesday in Arlington, Texas, and that'll be the last of the games. We've gone through almost 20,000 gospel tracts that we've handed out. So it's amazing that we have literally planted seed to all kinds of countries, and some countries got it double. I think we did Sweden a couple of times, Japan a couple of times. We did France a couple of times. So I've been last month I drove, I think I logged 7,500 miles for the month of June, and I'm at 3,500 so far for July. But praise the Lord, we're out there planting seed, and I tune in when I can, and I watch you guys when I'm on the road. But I'll be heading back home. The key thing is for me is just being consistent. Been witnessing for almost 42 years, and it's never boring. We did have, something that I saw yesterday, and I just started seeing that this year. There were about probably 30 feet from where we were standing by the stadium, the Hard Rock Stadium there in Miami, there was some Muslims that were handing out tracts. Can you imagine? And then they decided to come and engage with us, which we had a blast. But I couldn't believe it. The guy that came in that was handing out literature for Islam was a Mexican guy. And I'm like, dude, what happened to you, man? Like, dude, you're way out of, like, you just messed up, dude. You need to come to Christ. But we had a pretty good conversation, and it was, but what's happening is I see that they're stepping up their game.
Yeah.
The Jehovah Witnesses were out there. Of course, the Jehovah's Witness been out there for years. But when you see Islam out there handing out tracts, it's getting close to the end. But one of the things that I like about, the very first time that I came to visit here, I noticed, the first thing I noticed was gospel tracts. I visited several churches throughout my last almost 42 years as a Christian, and I've only seen that in two churches. And I'm guessing I've been in and out probably at least 500, 600, 700 churches. But the thing is that even that day I had just met Charlie. I walked in and he greeted me like he knew me for like 20 years and still does that. And but when he was here, he encouraged everybody, hey, grab some tracts, go plant some seed. And that is what I like about that is that it's easy. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything, to grab a couple of tracts, leave them as you go, drop them here and there as you're going. I mean, I'm telling you, like, I don't think I've ever been to a toilet, a bathroom, public bathroom, and I don't leave a tract in there. Somebody's going to go in there. And, especially, actually, one of my favorite things to do in an airport is, especially the ones that have like 7 or 8, 10 stalls, is I look around and I count the stalls, and then you can see if somebody's in it. You see their feet, and I'm like, okay, guys, I start throwing the gospel tract at their feet. Okay, guys, here's you some reading material. I mean, they're sitting there. And I tell people that's what you call catching them with their pants down. So there's no escape. And then I just jet out. Like, they don't even know who did it, who was there. And of course, I catch a few guys that are just staring at me like, what is this guy doing? But, but if you don't plant seed, you can't get a harvest. Yeah. And I think the church today, they're praying for a harvest without planting the seed. So first you break up the ground, then you go and plant the seed, and then you go back and water the seed, and then you go back and you keep watering that seed. So what's really cool is that in my time being out on the street, one time I had a conversation with this young man on Bourbon Street at 3 a.m. We're having a conversation about Jesus Christ at 3 a.m. That was during Mardi Gras. The following weekend, I'm with the Jesus Crew team in Dallas, passing out gospel tracts in Deep Ellum at 1:30 a.m. And I run into the same guy. And he looked at me and he said, man, are you following me? I said, well, actually, I am. God sent me because my steps are ordered by him, so I am following you. God's sending me to come after you. So what was shocking, if you meet somebody, hundreds of miles away in a different city at 1:30 a.m., well, the following weekend, I'm with the Jesus Crew team in Austin, and I run into that same guy.
Wow.
3 times in a row, 3 different cities. And he looked at me and he said, man, you're freaking me out. And I told him, I said, man, you should be freaked out. For God to send me to meet with you 3 weekends in a row in 3 different cities, man, I would be crying out to God right now. And we had 3 different great conversations, but You just got to take advantage of every opportunity that God gives you. And handing out a gospel tract is so simple. I think it's like the beginner for beginners. But that beginner can end up in a full blown, conversation. But when I got saved on a day. So in 3 days, this is what God did. He saved me on day one. The second day, Brother Van Meter said, "Hey, you want to go out with me? I'm going to go hand out some tracts." Well, that's how I met him. So he gives me a stack of tracts, and I'm handing tracts. Now, this is the day after the Lord saved me. I don't know a single Bible verse. Like I don't know John 3:16. So I don't know anything. And so it was going well until I gave a gospel tract to this guy, and he says, "What's this about?" And I'm like, it's about God." "Oh, really? Well, what about God?" "Well, man, I don't know." Said, "Man, I just got saved yesterday. But all I can tell you is that, man, yesterday I was stoned out of my mind, and I woke up this morning and I have no desire for weed. I don't know what happened." And the guy looks at me. He said, "Wait a minute. You were stoned yesterday and you're trying to tell me about Jesus today? Get out of here." He starts cussing me out. And I was totally being sincere with him. I'm telling you what happened. The following day was a Sunday, and Brother Van Meter said, "Jose, why don't you come up here and just share with everybody what God's been doing in your life in the past 3 days?" So that was my introduction to the Christian life. And let me tell you, it hadn't stopped since. So, I mean, it's every weekend I'm going somewhere, I'm doing something, I'm telling people about Christ. So, and the cool thing is that anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. It doesn't cost you anything. So there's some tracts back there. Grab you some and just leave them as you go. The gas pumps, the grocery store. I mean, wherever you go, just leave them around. And if you want to, give it to somebody. And, I'm standing at the game. You can just stick your hand out and somebody will snatch it out of your hand. Yeah. Like they'll literally take it. You don't even have to say a word. Just stick it out. But, of course, that was the way it started. But now it's like, "Hey, did you get one of these?" There was one guy from Norway. He said, "What's this about?" I said, "It's about God." And the gospel tract, it actually said, "Don't be red carded by God." I said, "Well, look what it says." Well, they know soccer. And he said, "Man, I don't want that to happen." I said, "Well, read that information. It'll give you some good information so you won't be red carded by God. Because if you get a red card in soccer, you're out. You're done. So you definitely don't want to get red carded by God." So, we got a good schedule coming up. Actually, I'm doing my uncle's funeral next Saturday. I just did his daughter's funeral in January, and it was my cousin Lisa. And actually, I had a really good conversation with my Uncle Ronnie that day, that weekend that I spent with him. And I told him, I said, "Well, Uncle Ronnie, what about you? Are you ready? Are you ready to meet the Lord?" And he said, "Well, actually, I'm not." And the church where we're actually going to have his funeral as well, his daughter's funeral, he used to drop off his little sisters there when he was a teenager. And that's the way his parents would let them use the car. Through, "Hey, y'all are going to church." Well, he would drop off his sisters and leave, go meet with some girls. And he just confessed that in January to his sister. And the sister's like, "Ronnie, you were doing that?" Said, "Yeah, I'm sorry, sister." And of course, we all started laughing and said, "Well, you got caught." And we had a good conversation. So a few days ago, my cousin Lori, his other daughter, said, "Well, Dad was talking about you, right before he died." And he said, you know what, I need to ask God into my life and ask for forgiveness because, Jose was right. My days are numbered and I want to be right with God. And my cousin said he bowed his head in his bed right there and started talking to Jesus. And I'm like, man. So my message at the funeral service, and of course I haven't jotted anything down, but it's going to be titled The 11th Hour. He snuck in at the 11th hour. And I'll tie that in with the service and share the gospel to the other relatives that'll be there that don't know the Lord. So I'm very thankful, but I really encourage you, and I hear this from this pulpit all the time, and I will repeat it again. Please read your Bible and be a witness, because it's our call, and it's for everybody. It's not when God sent out his disciples, he didn't hold any back. He sent them all. Everybody went. He didn't, okay, Matthew and John, you guys go. The rest of you guys stay here with me. No, he sent them all. All of them went. So he's sending us all. Not everybody can be on Bourbon Street at 3 a.m. But you can go to Publix, go through their grocery and pick up your food as you're going and leave a tract in the aisle. You'd be surprised. Somebody's going to pick it up. This year, we started putting my phone number on the gospel tracts. Man, I've had probably 50 messages, text messages from Canada, from New York, from Florida. I mean, people are texting, and there's 3 people right now that we've been texting for like 3 months, and there's I don't know how old she is, but her name's Samantha from Dallas, and she's been texting me, and all the message was, please pray for me. So I prayed for her, and then I did a follow-up text, and, now 3-4 months later, she's told me about her parents, her boyfriend that she broke up with, and I mean, it's moving on. So when the time's right, I'll introduce her to the Jesus Crew team in Dallas, and they will meet up and follow up. Good. So here we go. But, thank the Lord. It's good to see everyone again. Thank you guys for all your prayers, the support. We appreciate it. God bless y'all. And hopefully when I'm in the area, I'll make another stop. So God bless y'all and love you guys.
Good job there.